Welcome to Property Perspectives. I'm your host, Kemp, Five Star Realty. Today we have a great host, which is myself. No, I'm joking. Today we have a great guest, Paul Garbek,
Yep.
Sherwood Inspection Services.
Yep.
All right, you want to introduce yourself?
So, like I said, my name is Paul Garbek. I'm from Sherwood Inspections. I am the business development manager for Sherwood Inspections. So that means I pretty much go out and I educate real estate agents about Sherwood Inspections, what makes us different than most inspection companies, and I'm out on the road visiting real estate agents on a regular basis. So just to give you a little bit of background about Sherwood Inspections, it's founded by our owner, David Sherwood. He's been in inspections for 40 years. We do both residential and commercial inspections. We've done, we're a complete inspection company. We do every part of the home inspection process, whether it's the environmental testing that needs to be done, the sewer testing, anything that needs to be done in an inspection, we do it. We cover all of Connecticut, most of Massachusetts, a little bit of Rhode Island. We have 15 inspectors that are positioned all around the state of Connecticut. So we are able to cover whatever the needs are, wherever they are in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. Our inspectors are very well trained. They're brought in every 2 weeks to do training. In fact, we had one yesterday. Every Wednesday, they're in the office learning about something different. So we have a house that our office is in South Windsor, Connecticut. That's our training office as well. So in that house, we have roughly over 1,500 flaws in that house. So our inspectors, when they come in to be an inspector for a Sherwood inspection, have to go through that house and find those flaws. So they're very well trained. They're all certified by ASHI, which is the American Society for Home Inspectors. And they know how to talk to real estate agents. They know how to talk to potential home buyers. Our style inspection is our tagline is we do more than just inspect, we educate. So we educate both the buyers and the real estate agents as we go through and do our inspections.
I love it. You make my job easy.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. I mean, you guys as an agent, you've got your hands full. You got a lot of things that you need to do, and you can't be an expert in every single thing.
Well, no, I mean, you try to do too much. That's never the goal. Right. Let the professional handle it. Professionals handle it.
So, like I said, they're very well trained. No matter what the needs are. So there's obviously some interesting things that have come up in being a home inspection company. One of the things we really like to do is we like to have the homeowner walk around with us when we do the inspection.
100%.
Very important to do.
100%.
And it's great for the real estate agent as well. So as we're going through the home and doing the inspection and uncovering things, we're explaining to people.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that. I always say the client must be at the home inspection. I personally don't like to go to home inspections.
No.
No, I don't. I like to have a bias. I like to be biased.
Yeah.
I don't want to see or hear.
Yeah.
I want to see the report.
Yeah.
And I want to read it from that standpoint.
Right.
Okay, so that I can deliver it accurately. I don't want to.
Yeah. So that goes for us as well as inspectors. Mm-hmm. So when we do an inspection, it's how the house stands today. We don't inject our own personal feelings into it.
Exactly.
Because you don't go into a house and you're not there to scare people. You're there to, this is what the house is right now.
Right. Well, home inspections are known as the kiss of death.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And a lot of times, that's the roadmap for the house.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
Right? If something pops up, something pops up. But more importantly, if you're going to move forward, that's the roadmap, what you should take moving forward to get your house where it should be.
Right. So, I mean, the trend has been a tough trend. I know a lot of people are very anxious about getting home inspections done. So the trend has been over the last few years to waive the inspection. Which is really a dangerous thing to do, especially if you're a first-time home buyer.
I agree.
So the first-time home buyers, I know that there's a lot of pressure in the market. Obviously, it's been pretty much a very tight market in Connecticut.
Still?
Yeah, it's still very tight. I mean, I've been down in the shoreline. Shoreline's a great area, but houses are very tight. They're coming on the market and they're going off the market relatively quick.
Yeah, we still have one of the hottest market, if not the hottest market in the United States.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I mean, our inspections have proved that out as well. Hartford is still is our number one market right now.
Gotcha.
Our number two market is Greenwich, Connecticut.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting. Well, I mean, that's
Yeah.
right there next to New York, but
Right. So you know the trend obviously, and then number three is New Haven. Believe it.
well, no, I do believe that. I mean, what I've been doing for 22 years now, 40. Respect to Mr. Sherwood.
Yeah.
You follow the New Yorkers.
Yes.
You follow them from '95, and
Yeah.
they make their way up.
Absolutely. Because I was down in New Canaan, an office down in New Canaan, Connecticut, and talking with the agent there and the broker that's in that office. She goes, it used to be our market was Fairfield County. Well, now because there's no inventory, and from especially New York buyers, they've moved all the way up. They went to New Haven. So
Now they're coming up here.
Right. The cut point used to be Brantford, Guilford, Madison,
100%.
that area.
Yep.
Well, now it's expanded. It's actually moved all the way up to Niantic.
Well, yeah, and I agree because you got Norwich down there, which is probably one of the hottest markets in Connecticut right now, and then close towns to that is the shoreline, Niantic, East Line, Waterford, New London, which is still funny because it's still kind of untouched.
Yeah, especially Norwich, that area.
Yeah.
I've been in, like I said, just because I've been an inspector, I've been in every one of these towns. And I've driven down every side road and stuff like that.
I can imagine.
So you can see the trends are going like Norwich. We talked about Norwich in that area, and Preston.
Yeah.
That
All that down
area
there.
is an area ripe for development. So
It's hot
I'm
right
trying
now.
to get off the subject a little bit.
No, but I get it. It's
Yeah.
on subject, because people need to know where to go
Yeah.
in order to buy. And if they buy, then they need to know what home inspection company to go
Right.
to.
So I mean, the challenge you're having. I'm preaching again to the choir because you know this probably better than I do. A lot of the homes that are on the market now are homes that need a little bit of help.
Yeah, especially for the first-time home buyer.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly,
You know, and that's deep that you bring that up because we're in the Northeast and we were one of the first 13 colonies.
Yep.
And people don't think of that a lot. So of course we have some of the oldest buildings in the United States.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to meet some of these people who only want to buy newer properties,
Right.
and then the ones that are just first-time home buyer coming in, they're going to be buying the older properties.
Right. So I've lived this. I've lived that a little bit because when I grew up, my father bought a house that was built in. My parents actually bought a house that was built in 1750.
Yeah.
So that was what
Floors
was
dipping.
available.
Yeah.
And so we took over that house and we rehabbed that house. Did all the things that needed to be. I learned how to do all the things you need to do to maintain a home, especially an older home.
Gotcha.
So-
Yeah, older homes are definitely a niche.
Yeah.
Definitely a niche. You gotta really love those houses to buy those houses.
Yeah, no, the interesting part about that is the house that I was born in, well, not born and raised in Haddam, Connecticut, built in, like I said, 1750, is still standing today.
That's great.
As solid as it was the day that we bought the house.
Right off the river.
Right up the river,
Yeah.
right on, I don't know if you know the Haddam Meadows, right?
Yep.
Right across, that's where our backyard was, the Haddam Meadows.
Right. And a lot of old property there because they came off the river.
Yeah, exactly. So as you came up Essex, Deep River, in that area. So I grew up on the Connecticut River pretty much.
Yeah.
But I love the area. I was just saying that today was interesting because I'm now back where I was first born. I was born here in the south end of Hartford.
Oh, you were?
Yes, I
Gotcha.
was born on Mapleton Street over there by Newberry Street.
Yes, right there, right up this way.
Yep, right. So
Yep.
I just went by that house today.
Yeah. Just to go take a look at
Yes,
it.
to give it a little, because my grandparents lived on Newberry
That's
Street.
interesting.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this area held a lot of memories for me.
Yeah.
The old, I lived here back in the 70s. And so
Yeah. They probably had a little bit of farmland still left over there.
and not really that much. Not in the south end. It was more the farmland was more Weathersfield in that area
Gotcha.
as we moved out, but it was still a great area. But this is the challenge of even looking at houses in Hartford, some great areas in Hartford. But you're going to find houses that need work. So you
Yeah.
need to do a thorough job. It's great that you're the first time home buyer and get the excitement of it, but it's their biggest investment. And not to really do a home inspection, you're opening yourself up to risk.
You do. So what do you think are some of the things, for a first-time home buyer, any buyer? What are some of the things they need to look out for when it comes to a home inspection?
Well, you really need to look at the structural integrity of a home to make sure that structurally it's sound. Okay, and that's the basis for it. To make sure that it's built properly, the walls are not sagging, things are not falling apart from inside. You can fix that, but it's still having good solid bones, as they call them.
Structural integrity.
And structural integrity is very important. Obviously, the other thing that's very important is the roof itself, since the roof is what prevents all the moisture and everything from attacking the inside of the house. So a roof is very important.
Gotcha.
Obviously, roofs have become very important with insurance companies.
Yeah.
Home insurance companies now are
Right.
looking very much at the age of the roof.
Right.
So that's where we start as inspectors. We start on that part there. We do the outside of the house. So when we come to a home to do an inspection, the first place we start is the outside of the house. We can see the outside of the house. We can see the condition of the siding, the windows, the drainage. These are all important things to look at before you even go inside the house.
Yeah.
Because the drainage is also the part of keeping the water away from the house so it doesn't penetrate and cause leakage within the house. So you have to have it properly graded.
100%. Moving all water away, water killer house.
Yeah, and so those are the things that we first start off with. And you go in there and we look at that part of it. We look at the roof. We do a visual inspection of the roof. We do have drones. So
You have drones now?
Yep. So we just...
Of course, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, we just added that, because now with multi-pitched roofs, architectural roofs.
You don't actually go up there, do you?
No, you can't.
Right.
It's very dangerous to go up there.
Yeah, right. But 20 years ago, they used to go up there.
Yeah.
Now I notice they kind of just,
Yeah.
But you got the drones.
Yeah,
So that's great.
So we have a special pair of binoculars so we can see a lot of that damage on the roof from the ground without sending anyone up there. And, we look at it. They are all trained in how to look at the shingles from the ground through a binocular to detect deterioration in the shingles. So it doesn't need to go up there anymore.
That's great. So what does it take to be a home inspector? I always wonder. What do you go through to get your license?
So it's a challenge to become a home inspector. You got to really want to do it, especially when you come to work for Sherwood Inspections. So you go through a very tough and rigorous program. So you start off as an intern, and so as an intern, you have to do 100 home inspections before you can at least be qualified to do that part of it. And then you have to go through all the training that ASHI and makes you go through. So there's special courses. So each one of our inspectors goes through probably about 20 different courses.
20 different courses. Huh?
Yeah, so we have a bulletin board in our office and a list of all the different classes you take to improve yourself as a really good certified home inspector.
Gotcha.
So they go through that training constantly. So it's online training. We send people out to do drone training. There are specific classes that they need to take, and they need to be able to, prove that they can pass those tests.
Right, before you can go out there.
Before you go out on your own.
Right. So 40 years, what's the,
Yeah.
1985. It's a long time, seen everything.
Yeah.
You personally going out doing home
I've
inspections?
gone out and gone out with inspectors. They're doing home inspections. I don't personally do them because most of my time right now is spent on the road trying to develop and create business.
That right there. I don't think I've ever heard that from a home inspection company.
Yeah.
They have a marketing department. What
Yeah.
you do? What's your title again?
I'm the business development manager for.
I've
Sherwood.
never heard that from a home inspector.
No, yeah.
company.
So, my job really is going out and visiting and doing things like this, educating. So I'm trying to go out and do educational we do lunch and learns
That's great.
for real estate agents. I'll send them a list of topics. They pick the topic. I come out and I train them on that topic. So if it's something on mold, so I'll go out there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes and talk about all the aspects of mold.
Yeah, mold's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, mold's a big thing.
Roofs are a big thing. Oil tanks are a big thing.
Oil tanks are a big thing.
So when you look at an oil tank and you go down and do an inspection on an oil tank, you look at the tank. It's got that nice black painted
Hopefully.
tank, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
but that black tank. So you look at it first thing. Wow, it looks like it's in great shape.
Yeah.
Well, they don't really realize that the oil tanks rot from the inside, so you can't see it. You have to do it. We do ultrasonic testing on those tanks.
You guys do the phase 1 and phase 2 if there's oil leaks and stuff like that?
We will do. We don't really do the remediation part of it.
Right.
So we farm that out. We have a list of contractors that have been approved.
Right.
So we're a home inspection company. So we cut it at that. We do the inspection, but we don't go beyond that. So
Right.
a level 2 environmental might be a little bit more beyond the scope of what we do.
Got you. Well, that's cool. Well, I mean, you have the resources to direct them in that.
Right.
That way, if you needed to.
When you get into level 2, it's the remediation part of it.
Yeah. You're probably backing out of the deal at that point.
Yeah.
How many inspections a week you guys do?
We do roughly, I think, so far this year we've done 600.
A week?
No,
Oh,
for the year.
600 for the
so
year.
We do roughly
gonna
about
say.
10, on average, roughly about 10 a day.
10 a day. That's good money, man. 10
Yeah.
a day. Hey, you guys are busy.
That's why
Across the whole state?
across the whole
That was
state.
that always been a problem too.
Yeah.
I've had when I worked with more buyers, I used to have home inspectors from different parts of the state
Yeah.
because certain ones don't like to travel certain places.
Yeah. So all of our inspectors are all travel. They put on not as much, close to as much mileage as I do.
Now, is that a difference in price?
Not really.
No? Okay.
Yeah, because really the price is more the time
Okay.
that the inspector in doing the home.
Right.
It's the inspection part. Traveling is a part of it, so we pay them travel time for doing that.
Got you.
But yeah,
That's interesting. So do you have, like, say, a single family home, a price for that, or it depends on square foot?
it really depends
time,
on
time.
So it really depends on square footage and the amount of time. So the style of the home dictates a little bit. So I mean, a ranch style home or a condo at 1,800 square feet, 2,000 square feet is different than something that might be a multi-level house.
Right.
You
right.
know,
So of course that's going to cost more. So let's just say a typical Cape, 1,100 square feet,
Right. So
first time home buyer.
It's roughly about $500 to $600.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
about average.
Yeah. So
That's what you can expect.
yeah. So I mean that includes getting a termite inspection,
Okay.
a basic inspection of the home.
Right. Speaking of that,
Yeah.
what's the most common issues you find during an inspection?
That's a challenge because it's a lot of different things, but mold seems to be a very big issue. Water quality seems to be a big issue as well. Oil tanks, the important parts of it are the things, depending on the age of the home, become more important. So I think those are the things we look at in the, people think of mold. Okay, so we do mold testing, and radon's another very important.
Yeah, the
thing.
further you go out.
Yeah, right, because based on where the house is built on, if it's built on a cliff, like a
Up in the
cliff
northeast.
area,
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the
yeah.
northeast.
So those are and the other big thing to really be concerned about, especially in this area, not so much as throughout the whole state, but it is covered throughout the whole state, is you got to look at the foundation.
Yeah, the foundation.
So so any home that's been built after 1983 and forevermore, because they haven't ended that program, that you should have the home inspection done prior to close. Because if you don't have it done prior to close, you could run into a bigger challenge. Because if you move into the house and the home happens to have a crumbling foundation.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So if you never had an inspection and you have a crumbling foundation,
you're in tough shape.
You're in tough shape, huh?
Yeah.
That's something to know.
Yeah. So if you're buying a new home, you can waive a lot of different things. You could waive the home inspection, but if the home is built after 1983, I wouldn't waive the foundation
Gotcha.
because you can't see it. One,
Oh, you can't.
not well, unless it's really evident. So there are things that call like mapping cracks and stuff like that. So you have to have someone that's a certified CFSIC inspector do the foundation inspection. So these are guys that are specially trained to know what to look for. And if you have them do the inspection, it's now covered by the indemnity fund. I don't know if you heard of the CFSIC indemnity fund that reimburses people for crumbled foundations.
Right. Very
But
important.
the important part is they have to have the inspection done prior to the close.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know. You know, it's funny. I had bought a property one time, and I actually waived
Yeah,
the home inspection.
yeah,
This is my own experience. I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
I found a tree was growing through
yeah,
what pipe? The pipe to the septic
yeah,
tank.
yeah. So that's a very common thing. That's why we just added the septic and sewer scoping to our list of inspections
okay.
we do.
Okay.
So we've had a lot of. So that's been one that's been really. We've gotten a lot of requests for that because you got two parts of it. You've got the septic. Okay, so we do a camera scope. We'll send the camera down the line
Right.
to scope it all the way out to the distribution
Right.
box
Yeah, that's important.
and make sure that it's clean all the way to that. On the other side of it, you got sewers. So again, we'll send a camera down the sewer line through the inspection port and out to where the sewer joins the street when it becomes the town or city's responsibility. But we have seen a lot of that root intrusion.
Root intrusion, right?
Yeah.
Which you would never even think of. That's
No,
like-
no, it's,
Yeah,
that's
you
what
would never know.
people you can't see that. You know,
You can't see that.
You find out about it when you get the backup. So now you get open sewer into your basement, basically. Because it's all backed up. Then you have a problem.
Yeah, then you know.
But it's too late.
It's too late at that point. So speaking of problems, deal breakers, is there anything like say like you ran up on a home
Yeah.
and you see it? Is there anything that would like stick out like right away deal breaker?
The challenge part of it is it depends on if you're a first time home buyer, there's lots of things that you have to sit back and say, okay, wait a minute, is this going to be too big for us to take care of? Is it going to be very costly? Like, you got to make sure the heat is working properly, and
Right.
if that's not working properly, you can run and the sewer and septic. You can run into problems that cost you roughly $30,000 to $40,000 worth of repairs.
100%.
Right. So you have to. That's the important part of doing the inspection. You have to be willing to look at that and say, okay, this
Yeah.
is okay. It needs to be.
That's not a
addressed.
Home Depot trip.
No, that's not something you do yourself.
Right,
You got to hire contractors to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So when you start looking at, well, I have to hire a contractor to do this stuff, it's something to maybe start thinking about. Well, am I prepared to do that?
Gotcha.
I'm not saying it's going to be a deal killer because you don't know what people are willing to do or not.
Well, yeah, you don't know.
Especially in this market, because everyone's been dying to get the home at whatever cost it is, and then you find out after the fact what you've actually bought.
Yeah, so a lot of, I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but informational purposes only.
Yes.
Still could back out of a safety issue.
Yeah. I mean, that's depends on the real estate agency, the writer that you guys hand out to people. But I would at least do the inspection, regardless of whether you're sitting down at closing and saying, okay, well, I'm going to start deducting these costs off of what the asking price is. But you got to at least know what you're getting into, and that's where I think a for informational purposes only,
Yeah.
at least helps you to understand some of that. We've done walk and talks for people, but once we have to do and start inspecting things, we have to do an official report.
Gotcha. Well, Paul, nice to meet you. You want to let the people know where they can find you guys?
Yeah, so we're Sherwood Inspections. We're online, SherwoodInspections.com, Facebook, Instagram. We're around here in Connecticut. We've been around for quite a while. We know what we're doing.
Well, it's good to meet you.
Thank you very much for
I
your time.
appreciate it.
It's great to be a part of this.
All right. This is JG Kemp, Property Perspectives. We'll see you next time.